Hello, I'm Michael Jackson.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, on the 24th of April, 2026, the long-awaited Michael Jackson biopic, simply entitled Michael, is being released. And it's directed by Mr. Fouché.
I should have told you sooner about Eddie's private party.
Well, now it's a surprise party.
Is it Fuqua in the posher circles?
I'm here with Antoine Fuqua.
But in the urban circles, he's known as Antoine Fuck You, an acclaimed film director who's worked with Denzel Washington many a times, now is working with Jafar Jackson, the son of Jermaine Jackson, and that makes him the nephew of the late great Michael Jackson, the king of pop. But one thing you have to bear in mind, folks, this is part one of a Michael Jackson biopic. Part two is getting released next year, depending if this world will exist by then, and it should have been a darker retreading of Wacko Jacko's life.
Discovery all the way up through Wimbledon, through the allegations, all that. Yeah. Dealing with it all.
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
This man really did walk the boundaries of being great and then controversial, in air quotes. But without further ado, folks, the reason why I'm making this video today, because Metacritic have scored it a 38 to now a 40 at the time of recording this video. Michael simply tells the story of Wacko Jacko's life beyond the music, tracing his journey from the discovery of his extraordinary talent as the leader of the Jackson 5, because Tito Jackson was always in the kitchen with an apron and gloves, to the visionary artist whose creative ambition fueled a relentless pursuit to become the biggest, maybe greatest entertainer in the world, highlighting both his life offstage and some of the most iconic performances from his early solo career. The film gives the audience a front row seat to Michael Jackson as never before. And this is where the story begins, which is why there's going to be a part two next year. Now, what I will say about the reviews, they are pretty scathing, and we're going to get into it. There's actually one particular review that does stand out amongst the crowd. So Screen Rant have given it a 90. The finished product has more than justified the cost, from the casting to the costumes to the fully fledged concert performances. Michael lives up to the legendary status of its namesake. I'm sure that's the case, Michael, but exactly how old was that girl? The playlist gives it a 67. Now, if you want to relive some of the MJ magic, Jafar, Fuck You, and those timeless bangers will quench a nostalgic thirst that will make you want to forget all that negative stuff. But yet somehow they've given it 67. 42 by the film maven. Michael is a fun and serviceable biopic that suffers from a lack of depth and a variety of cooks in the kitchen who oversalt the works. Oh my God. At the Irish Times, backed by the kind of production budget normally reserved for resurrected dinosaurs running amok in a theme park. He's talking about the ScarJo Jurassic Park film from last year. This long gestating biopic of Michael Jackson offers 2 solid hours of poop. The Daily Beast, all thriller, no infamy, presenting an uplifting, crowd-pleasing version of events that, for all its expert impersonations, is simply the palatable half of this sordid tale. IGN have given it a 30. Holy shit. Michael or Bohemian Rhapsody, I love that, is a film of listlessness and inhumanity that can't help but suck the energy out of the room. This film is entirely the opposite of what he was, both as an iconic performer and a controversial tabloid figure. Who would have thought that such a carefully controlled a state-permitted biopic might actually do more damage to an artist's legacy by making him so uninteresting. Wow, holy shit. I tell you, in the last few weeks, IGN have really been competing, I guess, with the likes of Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic to get those views, because the more controversial your headline, but of course IGN is only playing catch up now, the more it tickles the algorithm's underbelly. And I've got to say, that's a very good review from IGN there, that brief outline I've just covered, because what it typifies to me is that if you have a figure like Michael Jackson, and like all the other Jackson family members will be protective about him, and there is a case that where one of the victims has filed a lawsuit or some legal disclosure that if those points are addressed in the film, something else will happen. I'm really clumsily phrasing it here, but there's some sort of legal ramifications if one of the victims was named. I mean, Macaulay Culkin hung out with Jacko, best buds, and he's never come forward and said anything. So, and I like Culkin, so I'm going to assume that he's a man of integrity, and if there were any wrongdoings going on between him and Jacko, I'm sure he would have said something already. But then again, Michael Jackson was friends briefly with Benny Hill. You would have thought, hey Benny, can you hook me up with one of those gorgeous girls you've got on the show? But we know Jacko was a bit of a virgino until he met Priscilla Presley. And on that one, folks, I want to get back to more of what they say here, but except, bloody hell, the BBC at 20, whatever you think of Jackson, he was driven to create spectacular and innovative entertainment. And yet the film has none of that spirit. Oh my goodness me. Holy moly, dude. This is scathing. What does it say here? It was clearly intended as a tribute to him as a person, but it's a grievous insult to him as an artist. Now, on that one, folks, I want to say a couple of things really quickly. Bohemian Rhapsody with Mr. Robotic Robot himself, Rami Malek, he won an Oscar for that role, for miming Freddie Mercury songs. I mean, you could call that film a karaoke piece that's extended to nearly 2 hours. Again, it's not the Freddie Mercury estate that were controlling the narrative on that charismatic singer, it's the band Queen. And so I would actually probably blame them as much for the way that film became sanitized.
And Queen wanted to clean it up, and you wanted to get into the nitty gritty, right?
Yes.
What does the nitty gritty mean? Like, you wanted to get into his sex life?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are amazing stories about Freddie Mercury. You know,
Crazy.
The guy was wild. I mean, he was living an extreme lifestyle. That
Debauchery.
Brian May probably had a big hand in, like, we're not going to have this, we're not going to have that. If you had Sacha Baron Cohen, and I mentioned this in my previous Michael Jackson video, playing the role, physically he looks the part. I'm pretty sure he could do a killer impersonation of Freddie Mercury with the vocals, and we would have seen the warts and all, Freddie Mercury and Kenny Everett being more than just good friends, but bum chums, and all the drug taking, the orgies that Mercury had with his pop and rock pals back in the day.
a member of the band, I won't say who, said
Brian May.
I won't say who.
Yeah.
And you would expect with something like Jacko, they might tread that line of perhaps pursuing the darker angle of his life, where he seemed to be too kiddie-friendly, if you know what I mean. And to be honest, I don't know if the audience would want to go and see that, because how would you approach that subject matter? You dour expectations. People might walk away thinking, how dare you insult the King of Pop by implying he was a PDF? And then on the other side of the coin, you might get people clapping their hands like Adam Sessler from video gaming, like a big seal going, oh my God, that was stunning and brave. But on that one, folks, I have nothing more to say then. Let's see how this biopic of Michael does when it's released tomorrow. Does it exceed expectations of the film company, or will people just have apathy and wait for the more bigger AAA blockbusters to come your way? And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't stop and can't get enough of any more of my videos, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and I will catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
We got the equipment. Goddamn right we got the equipment.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, move.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dream of me. I'll make your dreams come true. Everything's possible with me.